yafe hayom, Shabbat shalom. Ma yafe hayom, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Ma yafe hayom, Shabbat shalom. Ma yafe hayom, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom.
Well, good evening, Shabbat shalom, and welcome to our service. For those of you that couldn't get through the front door because they tore the front steps out, it's not our new security measure, so no one can come in. But it'll all be snow melt by next year, and in a couple months they'll have new front steps and railings for all of us. So welcome to everybody who's watching from all over the country and to all of you that came to be with us tonight. We'll begin with our candle lighting. Is there someone who'd like to light candles for us tonight? We're kind of sparse. Kathy, you can come up. We'll sing it. It's good.
And I think tonight when we sing Lachado D, we can face this way.
We'll face it.
What do you think?
Don't worry. She sings. You look great. Hundreds of people will be watching you from all over the
goodness gracious. Just light and we'll take care of the rest.
Right.
That too. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
May the Shabbat candles that we now light inspire us to see justly and gently, look honestly and with kindness to see what's holy in each other. Thank you. As we turn in our prayer books to page 4, at the bottom of the page, we'll continue, Hine ma tov, how good and pleasant it is to be together.
And it is just so wonderful that we get to be here together on this Shabbat. So please, you can do it from across the room or someone right next to you. Turn around, say Shabbat Shalom, introduce yourself, wave to someone sitting nearby or far away. Hine ma tov u'manayim, shavet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim, shavet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov, shavet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov, shavet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim, 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 shavet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov, ya la la, ya la 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 la. Hine ma tov, Yalalai, yalalalalai. Hine matavu manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matavu manayim, shevet achim gam yachad.
The bottom of page 8 will now continue responsively with our family prayer. May we never take for granted the gift of Shabbat as we sit nestled in the Rocky Mountains, sharing this humble moment with family and friends. May the satisfaction of celebrating Shabbat hearten our spirits. Let Shabbat peace bring quiet to our souls. Allow this time set aside for song and prayer to bring us closer together in thoughts and deeds. Let the space we share become our place of devotion, glowing with reverence and filled with our traditions. And may the end of this week encourage us to examine our actions. Let us look ahead toward the new week, be worthy of all of God's blessings. The top of page 8 as we welcome the angels of peace and join together with the cantor, Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Ni L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
And upon arriving in Jerusalem, the pilgrims lifted their eyes to the mountains and they cried out, "From where does my help come?" Esainai, we join together, the top of page 12.
Esainai el harim, me'ayin yavo Ezri. Esainai el harim, me'ayin yavo Ezri. Ezri me'im Adonai, oseh shamayim va'aretz. Ezri me'im Adonai, oseh shamayim va'aretz. Esainai el harim, me'ayin yavo Ezri. Esainai el harim, me'ayin yavo Ezri. Ezri me'im Adonai, oseh shamayim va'aretz. Ezri me'im Adonai, oseh shamayim va'aretz.
And as we have our covenant with God to take care of this beautiful valley, let's continue responsively on page 15 with our covenant with God. As we live amidst the trees, streams, and mountains of Vail, we pray for the care and healing of the earth so that present and future generations may enjoy the fruits of creation. God made a covenant with Abraham and Sarah, blessing them and their descendants through the generations. We teach our children to love Judaism, to honor, carry on our traditions and the laws of the Torah so our legacy may continue. God made a covenant with Moses and the Israelite people to all generations, giving our people the 10 Commandments and challenging us to choose a life of goodness. May each day be filled with kindness, honesty, and integrity, and righteous acts, so we remain filled with the promise of the covenant. The top of page 16, as we welcome the Sabbath bride, join together, Lecha Dodi.
Lecha lecha dodi, likrat kala, v'nei Shabbat nekabela. לך לך דודי לקראת קלה פני פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני פני שבת נקבלה לך לך דודי לקראת קלה פני פני שבת נקבלה שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד השמיענו אל המיוחד אדוני אחד ושמו אחד לשם ולתפארת ולתחילה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני פני שבת נקבלה לך לך דודי לקראת קלה פני פני שבת נקבלה לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה כי היא מקור הברכה וראש מקדם נסוכה סוף מעשי במחשבה תחילה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני פני שבת נקבלה לך לך דודי לקראת קלה פני פני שבת נקבלה מקדש מלך עיר מלוכה קומיצי מתוך ההפכה רב לך שבט בעמך בכה והוא יחמול עלייכם לך דודי לקראת קלה פני פני שבת נקבלה לך לך דודי לקראת קלה פני פני שבת נקבלה.
The Sabbath bride can't come in those doors, so we face this way as we greet the Sabbath bride.
בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה גם בשמחה ובצהלה תוך אמוני עם סגולה בואי חלה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני פני שבת נקבלה לך לך דודי לקראת קלה פני פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני פני שבת נקבלה לך לך דודי לקראת קלה פני פני שבת נקבלה.
May be seated as we continue the top of page 21 with Psalm 92, also known as the Song of the Sabbath Day, first recited in the temple in Jerusalem on Shabbat. Let's continue responsively the top of page 21. It is good to give thanks to you, O Lord, to praise your name through song, to speak in the morning of your loving kindness, your faithfulness each night. Music of the lute and the harp, melody of the lyre, I'll sing with my delight as we continue in the bottom of page 20.
Tzadika tamar yifrach ke'eres bavanon yizkeh shetulim bebeit Adonai Bechatzrot Eloheinu Yafrichu Od Yenuvun Beseva Deshenim Vera'ananim Yashar Adonai Suri Ve'lam Latabo.
We'll turn to page 23 at the top of the page, the wonderful reading taken from the Boston Globe in 1921. Someone commented to me, they said, You know, we saw that in Ann Landers or one of those just recently. I said, no. It was Dr. Crane Says is how it started back in 1921. Now everybody else has used it as we have been using it for all these years, and I've been using it for 50 years. So it's new to some of us. David, would you lead us responsively on page 23?
Just for today,
Wait, here. Just so.
one day only.
There you go.
Forgetting yesterday and tomorrow, and not trying to solve the whole problem of life at once. Just for today, I will adjust myself to what is, and not try to adjust everything to suit me. If I cannot have what I like, I will try to like what I have. Just for today, I will be agreeable, cheerful, charitable, do my best, praise people for what they can do, not criticize them for what they cannot do. And if I find fault, I will forgive it and forget it. I will try not to improve nor regulate anybody except myself. Just for today, I will have a plan. I may not follow it exactly, but I will have one. It will save me from worry, hurry, and indecision. Just for today, I will get people off my nerves and not get on theirs. I will appreciate them for what they do, what they are. Just for today, I will not show it if my feelings are hurt.
Just for today, I'll find a little time for quiet
to relax, and
to realize what life is and can be. Time to think about God and get a better perspective of myself.
Just for today, I will look at life with fresh eyes and discover the wonder of it. I will know that if I give to the world, so the world will give it to me.
Thank you. And I think as we go through the prayer book, this is one of those times where it's so appropriate. Thank you. With Yom HaShoah, the Holocaust Day is next week, celebrated throughout the world, that we look at the pictures by Roman Vishniak, that these were pictures taken in the 30s as he wandered through Eastern Europe, especially Poland. And there isn't any other prayer book that's going to have them. But when you look at some of the pictures, like the one on page 22, this is the generation that's gone, and they were all lost in the Holocaust. The picture on page 22 is called Scissor Sharpener from Eastern Europe, 1935. And it's truly amazing that he was able to have a camera in his hat, and when he would raise his hand, he could take the pictures of all these people, because there was no other way to just walk up with a camera and capture the most amazing photos that we felt was important to include in the book. Well, we'll turn to page 24 in our prayer books. We'll rise, continue with our call to worship, and join together in the Baruch Hu.
Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach. HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
May be seated. We're going to turn to the back of our prayer books on page 78. Eli, Eli, it's the wonderful poem written by Chana Senish. She was a partisan from Hungary, dropped behind enemy lines as a paratrooper, captured by the Nazis, and we lost her, but her poetry has always stayed with us. Page 78 as we join together, Eli, Eli.
Eli, Eli, shelo yigamer le'olam. החול והים, רשרוש אל המים, ברק השמיים, תפילת האדם, החול והים, רשרוש של המים, ברק השמיים, תפילת האדם. Oh God, my God, I pray that these things never end. The sand and the sea, the rush of the waters, the crash of the heavens, the prayer of the heart, the sand and the sea, the rush of the waters, the crash of the heavens, the prayer of the heart.
Not only is the Shema the first words that we teach to the children, but they're also the last words recited at the time of our death. Page 30, as we join together at the top of the page with the cantor.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod, Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha uvchol nafshecha uvchol meodecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'eleh asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha v'aderech uv'shachbecha uv'kumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot bein einecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uv'yisharecha Leman tizkiru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'tem kedoshim le'elohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem le'elohim ani Adonai Elohechem.
And as the waters closed upon the parting Egyptians and lost into the sea, Israelites are now free to the other side, singing Micha Mocha, middle of page 32.
Yai lai lai la lai la 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 lai. Yai lai lai la lai la 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 lai. Ya lai la lai lai yai lai la lai. Yai la lai lai ya la 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 lai. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha netar b'kodesh, nora tehilot oseh feleh, nora tehilot oseh feleh. Malchutecha rovanecha, bokei hayam lifnei Moshe, Ze'elianu ve'amru, Ze'elianu ve'amru, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed. Yai lai lai la lai la 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 ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la ya la la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la.
Again, as we look on page 35, it's another wonderful photo by Roman Vishniak. This is Warsaw, Poland, 1935. Not even to imagine what was coming 5 years later. He entitled this "The Shoemaker, Rushing to Complete His Work Before Shabbat." The top of page 34, we join together, Hashkivenu.
Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leShalom, Me'amidenu Malkeinu leChayim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leShalom, Me'amidenu Malkeinu leChayim. Ushmor Tzeitenu Uvoenu Lechaim Ushalom Me'ata ve'ad olam. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leShalom, Me'amidenu Malkeinu leChayim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leShalom, Me'amidenu Malkeinu leChayim.
We turn to page 36. It's a picture again by Roman Vishniak. He called it David Eckstein. We don't know what possibly could have happened. This young child is David Eckstein in Cheder, 1937 in Poland. So we continue page 36 at the bottom of the page with from Exodus 31, Vishamru. We'll join together.
Veshamru bnei Yisrael et HaShabbat, la'asot et HaShabbat lidorotam berit olam. Veshamru bnei Yisrael et HaShabbat, la'asot et HaShabbat lidorotam berit olam. Beni uvein bnei Yisrael, oti leolam, oti leolam. Veshamru bnei Yisrael et HaShabbat, la'asot et HaShabbat lidorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim Asa Adonai, Asa Adonai, et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. Veshamru bnei Yisrael et HaShabbat, la'asot et HaShabbat lidorotam berit olam. Uvayom hashvi Shabbat vaynafash, Shabbat vaynafash, Shabbat vaynafash. Veshamru bnei Yisrael et HaShabbat, la'asot et HaShabbat lidorotam berit olam. Veshamru bnei Yisrael et HaShabbat, la'asot et HaShabbat lidorotam berit olam.
There are those in our community who are in need of healing, of body, mind, or spirit. If you have a person in your life who is in need of healing, just a moment, please feel free to share their name aloud as we move about the sanctuary, We continue the top of page 38, Misha Berach.
Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen.
We offer blessings for full healing to Carolyn Ano, Emil Ano, Lynn Ambrose, Gail Balin, Sue Beiser, Jackie Cohen, Lynn Colin, Blanche Deutsch, Lynn Deutschman, Carol Ann Finn, Jane Friedman, Betty Ann Gaynor, Don Gerstein, Deborah Goldman, Mike Herman, Ken Imler, Rhea Ivry, Donald Jaffe, Harriet Jaffe, Warren Janowitz, Mary Sue Katz, Skip Clowens, Herman Keek, Brian Kushner, Renee Myers, Stephen Reese, Daniel Rosen, Chip Ruth, Roberta Scheller, Sam Schwartz and Bernie Shavitz, Ann Sheldon, Bill Silvers, Dina Stempler, Ellen Stone, Mark Strauss, Maury Strauss, Alan Tannenbaum, Rita Weinstein, Tevi Wellens, Brian Wilson, and Mickey Winokur. Thank you.
Misha Berach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
Turn to page 40 and rise and continue with the Reader's Kaddish.
Yitkada ve'yitkadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Be'alma divra kirtei ve'amlich malchutei.
B'chayechon v'yomechon uv'chayedecha Beit Yisrael. Bagala, bagala, uv'izman kari.
Ve'imeru.
Amen. Yesh me'rava mevarach. Le'alam lameho maya yitvarach.
Yitbarach v'yishtabach, yitpa'ar v'yitroma v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar, v'yitaleh, v'yitalal, shemei dekudsha,
Brechu.
le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata.
Tushbechata v'nechemata damihiram b'yama.
V'yimeru.
Amen. Eternal God, open my lips that my mouth may declare your glory. We continue page 42 at the top of the page and then silently through page 57.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agitei latecha. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agitei latecha.
may be seated when you've completed the Amida. As we continue with our prayer for peace, page 56, and join together with our duo, Oseh Shalom.
Oseh Shalom, Bimromav, Huya Aseh Shalom, Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'imeru, Amen. Oseh Shalom, Bimromav, Huya Aseh Shalom, Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'imeru, Amen. Oseh Shalom, Bimromav, Huya Aseh Shalom, Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'imeru, Amen. Oseh Shalom, Bimromav, Huya Aseh Shalom, Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'imeru, Amen. Oseh Shalom, Bimromav, Huya Aseh Shalom, Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'imeru, Amen.
Thank you.
Thanks, Cheryl.
And welcome back. Just as another side note, as you look at page 57 at the bottom of the page, the photo, and I just noticed that this is another Roman Vishniac picture called Man Selling Apples to a Customer, 1935. What's unusual about it is it took place in Slonim, which is in Lithuania. And this summer we're going to be dedicating a Torah that has come from, there's nothing left there. Every Jew was killed. There's nothing left but this Torah that we'll be bringing out at the second mountaintop. And probably the only other thing left would be something like this photo, which was taken in Slonim in Lithuania. Well, while I was a student at Columbia University back in the 70s, every Friday night we would walk to Shabbat services, and I'd walk from Columbia, 116th Street down to 122nd Street to go to services at the seminary. My dorm was at 116th Street, and on the opposite side of the street as we were walking down, and everybody would be walking to services, would be the great luminaries of Judaism. These were some of the greatest teachers that escaped the Holocaust but became some of our professors, and one of them included Elie Wiesel. He was a regular at our service, often stayed for a traditional Shabbat dinner that was really for the students and the professors that always followed the service. Well, one Friday night when he was addressing us as just young students thinking someday we might be rabbis, he explained why for 10 years that he wasn't able to write a word about the Holocaust. He said, I needed 10 years to collect my words. I needed 10 years to put silence in them. Every word needed to be purified through silence. And I was obsessed by silence because I was afraid of language. So he went on and he says, I can't adequately explain what it was like at Treblinka or Auschwitz. However, in time, I realized that silence is also indifference. And if there's one word, he said it's one word that encompasses all of human evil, that one word is indifference. So what gives meaning to purpose, I think, to all of us as we gather to recall Yom HaShoah, the Holocaust, this evening, it's not only remembering the Holocaust, but responding to what we remember. We respond to the horrors of the Holocaust by openly confronting Nazi tactics that even today we see, white supremacists, or even fundamentalist Islamic terrorists. All these who are seeking to destroy America, Europe, and Israel. But we must find a way, I think, to use the memory of the Holocaust to further our dreams for the future. Well, Anne Frank is a young teen whose family hid from the Nazis, we all know, in the attic. She took that little red, orange, and gray checked autograph book, not even a diary, but she used it as her diary. So on Saturday of June 15th, 1944, 15-year-old Anne wrote the words that I think continue to inspire all of us, especially on Yom HaShoah. She wrote that it's utterly impossible for me to build my life on a foundation of chaos, suffering, and death. I see the world, it's being slowly transformed into a wilderness. And I hear the approaching thunder that one day I know will destroy us too. I feel the suffering of millions, and yet as I look up to the sky, I somehow feel that everything will change for the better, that this cruelty too will end, that peace and tranquility will return perhaps once more. But in the meantime, I have to hold on to my ideals, and perhaps the day will come when I'll be able to realize them. Well, less than 3 weeks later, on August 4th of 1944, Anne and her family were discovered, arrested by the German security police, and then deported to Auschwitz. And although she died in Auschwitz, I think her words continue to inspire us so many years later as we remember the Holocaust this evening. Her words told us that we must never remain silent, and we have to speak out when we see these things of evil. We must not remain passive, but we must respond. We must not acquiesce with indifferent silence, but we have to respond with defiance. We'll never let the Holocaust happen again to the Jews or to Israel or to any people on the face of the earth. So our prayer tonight on this of Yom HaShoah is, Eternal God, help us draw the strength that we can from Anne Frank. And by those who tell the stories they need to be told, the stories that are so unimaginable they must be real. So give us the strength to believe that cruelty can't overpower human spirit. May we never allow arrogance, hatred, and cruelty to ever be the last word. So grant us strength to confront pain with healing, despair with hope. And most of all, the blanket of darkness, we have to continue to always light the candle of hope. If you haven't taken one of these, or if you're viewing from a distance, you could check the newsletter that we send out. It has all of the events that are coming up, and I just wanted to highlight only a few, especially this next Thursday. We were talking about it before services. It's quite the book when you think about the prison minion. We were talking, if you haven't read it, it'll be next Thursday night by Zoom with the author, 6 o'clock our time. So if you are in California, if you're on the East Coast, figure it out. But you can still join us by Zoom. It's an incredible story about all these prisoners that get together for the little crimes they did, whatever they did, and they're all Jewish. They form a deli. The deli's taken away. It's all kinds of amazing things. And we were going to hear from the author how he was able to come about that whole idea. We have coming up, let's see if I have the date for that. It's in June. The Shabbat service, the Bluegrass and Boots. It's in June.
Mid June.
Check it out. Get out your boots. The Cantor's putting together a bluegrass band. What is it, banjo and something else?
Yeah, we'll get some mandolin.
Okay.
Hopefully an upright bass.
And why would we be doing that? Sounds a little odd. Because the following Sunday, we go up to Leadville, and that's when we have the cleanup. We learn about the history of the Jews of Colorado, and this is where we're going to be honoring them with a special Shabbat service that I think will be pretty amazing with your new guitar. You'd be just picking away.
Exactly.
And anything else you wanted to highlight?
Yeah, we have tomorrow an event coming up to celebrate Yom Ha'atzmaut. We'll be learning to make falafel and playing Israeli dodgeball, playing Gaga, and a lot of other fun Israel activities. And we'll also be having a family Shabbat service. So if you have anyone that you know that would be interested in attending, it should be super fun. We have that, lots more kids events coming up. Tons of musical stuff coming up this summer. We're super excited.
We invite
Lots
many
of special
guests.
Yes.
Many guests we invite. One of our guests is Vladimir Putin's #1 enemy. I thought, okay, that could attract a crowd. His name is Bill Browder. He's going to be he talks about the chronicles of his work exposing the Russian money laundering. He's been on TV, he's written books, and he's going to be, we're partnering with this symposium, Vail Symposium. Should be a pretty amazing evening in the middle of July. And then we have also July 16th, we will be dedicating the wall, the Jerusalem stone wall that we have at Vail Health at the hospital, with my thanks to Dr. Cohn, who has his connection in Florida. So I was able to get from Solomon's Quarry in Jerusalem, outside of Jerusalem, to Florida to schlep all the stone up here because you had a nice contact of who we would go through, and they're cutting smaller pieces for us. I went in there yesterday just to see how it was looking and how they're laying it out. It is filled with notes. It's amazing. We haven't even dedicated it. So it's already filled with notes from patients that are going up and knowing why to be there. And then we will be dedicating later in the summer, on the 1st of Elul, a Geniza, where the notes are taken. A Geniza is a repository for holy papers and Hebrew papers. So nothing is ever read or thrown away, but we'll be collecting them. And over at this cemetery in Minturn, we have our first Geniza that we'll be dedicating as well. So there's too much for me to read this evening of all this stuff. This Jews of the Wild West should be amazing. That's a film we're going to be seeing also. So take this home with you, or if you are visiting from, I know the Groblowskis are watching. They're always watching for us. And Bernie Shavitz is down there in Florida. And we, of course, got Janet's out there with her mom and Seacrest. So they're all watching. Get out your newsletter, mark your calendars, and come early. We're going to return to our prayer books to page 60 as we rise and join together, Aleinu.
Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon ha'kol, la'tet gidula le'otzer bereshit, shalo asanu kigoyei ha'aratzot, ve'lo samanu k'mishpechot ha'adama, shalo sam chalkenu kahem, ve'gor aleinu kechol hamonam, va'anachnu korim, ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו echad.
At this moment, in memory of our loved ones who are no longer with us, we join hands in love and remembrance because a link has been broken in the chain that bound us together. Yet strong bonds of home, love, hold us one to another. In solemn testimony to that unbroken faith which links the generations one to another, we call to mind those whose yahrzeit we observe this month. Ruth Baker, Peter Barrett, Grace Blossom Silver, John Burnett, Edward Cohen, Lisa Cohen, Milton Cohen, Louis Gerstein, Nathan William Goldstein, Mathilde Heffer, Sidney Isaac, Mark Jacobson, Ruth Kimmel, Clara Krell, Adele Langsam, Ethel Levinson, Beatrice Levinson, Burton Leventhal, Ted Levy, Helen Leaf, Doug Lockhart, Bess Lubin, Bonnie Marcus, Jean Martin, Alicia Merritt, Goldie Moskowitz, David Mossman, Larry Nickerman, Betty Numeroff, Marshall Palikow, Pearl Rosen, Helen Rosen, Bernice Rosenbach, Harvey Rowitz, Harry Schwartz, Sadie Slakowitz, Francis Solomon, Shailene Sosland, Henry Trout, Bernice Waldbaum, Merritt Buckweaver, Jack Whitman, James Wolfe, Lucy Hamill Yashik, Jochen Yashik, Morton Zerden. We also offer condolences to the loss of Ian Dressner this past week. If anyone else is observing Yahrzeit this month. The Mourner's Kaddish can be found in our prayer books, page 64, and those who wish may join with us as we say, Yitzgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabah, v'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, v'agalav v'zman karev v'imramein. Yehei shmei rabba mevarach le'olam u'me'el maya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. Yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei dekudesha b'richu. Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran bi'alma v'imramein. Yehei shlomo rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'imramein. Oseh shalom b'imramav, hu yaseh shalom. Aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'imramein. May be seated. When we think about those who we've lost, that they're really not lost, and there was such a beautiful song, Yesh Kochavim, it talks about when we go out and we see the stars that are above us, that it's not really the stars, but it's their light that shines down, and it's them shining for us, as the cantor continues.
This beautiful poem was written by also the author of Eli Eli, Hannah Senish, as we think about those, not only our loved ones who died, but all of the loved ones who perished in the Holocaust as well. Yesh kochavim she'oram megia artsa, rak kasher hem atzmam avdu veinam. Yesh anashim sheziv zikram me'ir, ka'asher hem atzma od betocheinu. Orot eile hamavhikim, beheshchat halayil, heim shemarim la'adam et haderech, et haderech. Heim shemarim la'adam et haderech, et haderech. There are stars up above, so far away we only see their light. Long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people that we loved. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us as we live our days. These are the ways we remember. We remember as we live our days. These are the ways we remember. We remember.
When we were in Amsterdam, they explained to us the star that was worn by all the Jews required by the Nazis. And we were told that they had to buy their own star, that it was nothing that was given, nothing that was forced upon them. And for the Frank family, they had run out in their neighborhood. He had to go way to the other side of town to buy his own star. And we're, I guess, lucky enough to be able to continue to be able to show something like that on the small tour that we have. This is from one of the small communities in Holland where it says Jood for Yud from Holland. And then you look up at our lamp, and we don't want to take it for granted. But that's from the late 1800s, survived the Holocaust, and was brought here from Germany, that we now have this lamp that lights all of us. Thank you. So again, welcome to all that were watching and all of you that came out with us. We're so glad to have you with us this evening. We're going to conclude our service on page 66. We'll join together Adon Olam.
What should we do for Adon Olam? Any ideas?
Don't ask David. He'll do like Georgia or something. Oh, yeah, very nice. Good choice.
I love that. That's a great way to wrap. We'll wrap up with something hopeful.
Yeah, it's good.
Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol, Yitzir Nivra, Le'ed Nasa, V'chefso Kol Azai Melach Shemo Nikra. Ve'acharei kichlot hakol levado yimloch nora vehu haya vehu hove vehu yeh b'tifara. Vehu echad ve'en sheni lehamshilo lehachbira bli reshit bli tachlit ve'lo ha'oz ve'hamisra vehu eli ve'chai go'ali ve'tzur chavli Sarah vehu nisi umanos li menat kosi beyom ekra beyado afkid ruchi beit ishan ve'aira. Ve'im ruchi giviati Adonai li velo ira.
Oh, yeah. Let's rise for a closing blessing. Adonai Ozli Amo Yatain, Adonai Varecha Tamo B'Shalom. May the Lord grant strength unto his people, bless all peoples with peace.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pori hagafen l'chaim. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lachem min haaretz b'tei avon.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Thank you. No, because what?
Bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam, bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom.